What's the deal? What's the deal? What's the deal, man? It's Said from Said Talks TV, B-I-G, the C-E-D, notoriously, you dig? So today we're going to be talking about jealousy. We're going to be talking about how people will gather information just to use it to work towards your condemnation later on. You know, people will gather information about you just so that they can bring it up when your downfall comes, or that way they can talk about you and have something, you know, coming straight out of your mouth that they can use to put you down, right? It could be in the workplace. It could be anywhere, man. It could be at a coffee shop, the library, the gym. But ultimately, man, people will sit up there and get you to open up about yourself. That way they can open up about you later to someone else. And a lot of times, man, when it comes to jealousy, though jealousy is one of the things that you have to watch out for, because it disguises itself as friendship. Jealousy disguises itself as comfort, as a shoulder to lean on, as camaraderie. Jealousy disguises itself as sneaky. It's not in your face, it's hidden. So you have to be very careful of who you tell information to. If you notice how whenever you bring up your progress and you're talking about your goals, people are excited for you when it's time, when you haven't started anything. People are excited whenever you're just building the blueprint, when you're the early stages, when you're in the early stages and you're just trying to get your foot in the door and start to get things in motion. Someone that you share with will be excited about that. But when it's time to finally start making progress, and when you have made progress, all of a sudden they bring up how you could have done more, or how they've done more, right? Or in most cases, they don't have much to say at all. All the excitement, all the praise and worship service comes to an end. Because now you have shown someone what you were going to do, told someone you were going to do, and now they seen you working towards that and accomplishing that. So now that they've seen you working towards and accomplishing that, and they are a jealous person, rather than responding with love, responding with appreciation, they respond with jealousy. Jealousy has gotten a lot of people put in the dirt through the years, from ancient times to recent ones. Jealousy has crumbled empires. Jealousy has destroyed opportunities. Jealousy has stolen precious moments. Never take finding out that someone is jealous of you or envious of you personally. It only shows their inferiority. A lot of times where people feel inferior, they try to overcompensate by projecting that they are superior. Often case, this is false. This is a front. This is fraudulent. This is not who they really are. Never take when God shows you something that may have an effect on you as a personal attack. And don't be upset. Don't ask why. Don't ask why. Roll with the punches. It's not about how hard you can hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. But the blessing in God showing you who people are around you allows for you to not make certain mistakes before it's too late. It allows for you to not show certain information where it can be used for your downfall. It allows for you to not feel too comfortable with people who your presence makes feel uncomfortable. You have to know who you are around at all times. The world is a jungle. And if you're an animal that can't identify predators and prey around you, you are the prey. And not only are you the prey, you are the first to die. Usually whenever they show you something in a movie, it's usually because it's imitating real life. One reason why I bring that up is because whenever you see scary movies, the person who is the least aware of their surroundings, the least aware of their environment, and doesn't have what you would call street smarts or good sense, that's usually the person who dies first, more than likely. The reason being is they don't know who the predator is. There's something to be said for people who can identify. There's a little board game, and it's like who killed, Tommy John. And there's a bunch of people, and they give you the context of what they did, where they were, and you identify who killed Tommy John. Always keep some people around you who are good at identifying Tommy John. If you don't know how to identify predators. Because that lack of information can be your downfall. You don't owe anyone anything. You don't owe anyone an explanation. No one deserves to know why you move the way that you move or why you do what you do. You just do it. It's not their business why you move the way you move. It's not their business why you're working more hours. It's not their business why you're leaving early. It's just simply not their business. And keep in mind, someone who questions you about the way that you move when it comes to things that best suit you and benefit you, you have to watch those people as well. Because it could be a foe disguised as a friend. Because pay very close attention to how they respond to when you say, I'm just doing what's best for me. Or I don't really see how that affects your current circumstance. Any type of response that they would consider to be not the appropriate response or not what they were looking for can be a sign of a jealous person. Because in reality, why are they not focused on their circumstance? Why are they not focused on their situation? Why are you on their mind? And they'll try to say things like, well, you know, I just had noticed, or man, I've been seeing you putting in work, dog, you know. All of that is fluff to butter you up. Be careful of people that try to butter you up or rock you to sleep. Those are the people with the most foul intentions. Those are the people who disguise their hatred, jealousy, and envy as friendship. Those are the people that will praise you in front of you, but won't praise you any other time than when it's just you and them. When other groups of people come around, they do the opposite, or they say nothing. These type of things are life skills that you have to be able to identify. These are the type of things that will give you the edge. When I speak about the edge, I'm speaking about little things that you can do that give you an advantage over other people. Hard work, intelligence, character, those are some of the main things that are going to give you an overall advancement in your placement in this world. But ultimately, there are small things that you can do, that you can implement every day, that will make a big difference. Little signs that could be considered soft skills or street smarts or people skills that give you an edge, that give you an advantage over other people, because you are able to identify and predict things before they happen, and because you know the outcome and you are able to predict how a certain circumstance is going to go, you have the power in that situation because you already know how it's going to go. So you can move accordingly. Information is power. Information applied is powerful. The things that you're consuming should be intelligent. They should, in theory, work. They should be to the best of your benefit. But ultimately, if you don't apply what you are learning, if you don't implement what you are being taught, or at least try, you will still be a novice when it comes to your experience. You have to find different ways to implement the game that you are getting from wherever you are getting it from, and be careful where you get it from. Because subconsciously, anything that is given out for free is undervalued. And you have to be very aware of people's intentions and why are they doing what they are doing. Are they bringing value? And by bringing value, they expect a return on their value financially? Are they just helping the world, let them say? Or is there a deeper agenda behind why they do what they do? Because the world has become so divisive. We are in February of 2026, and the world is more divisive than it has ever been. Openly on public platforms, people of the media, people from sports, they openly say things that are divisive to create separation between opposites, between up and down, between left and right, between white and black, between red and blue. They openly say things intentionally to create divisiveness, to create separation. Because when you are separated and you are alone, that is when you are the most vulnerable. there are strength in numbers. You do have to know how to stand on your own. But pressure is always better felt by two. So be very careful what you consume on Instagram, YouTube, Snapchat, TikTok. It doesn't matter what it is. But you have to be careful of what you are consuming, because majority of what's being posted, majority of the people who are posting it are paid actors for hire. And their whole goal is to be in front of your face. That way you can have a high image of them. That way you can feel influenced by them. That way whenever someone needs agenda to be pushed, they can go ahead and push it and you will value it. A lot of these people have no real merit on anything. They are not skilled at anything in particular. Or maybe they are skilled in one thing in particular, and that's how you know them. But they are trying to give off the impression that they know about all these other areas that they don't know about, but that they are being paid to comment on. That is why they are in front of your face, to comment on things with an intention to sway your opinion about a particular thing. It's never for no reason. Everything is strategic. It's not people just doing things. A lot of what you're seeing is not really reality. Your eyes deceive you. You're not using the eye that God gave you to see, because you can see without using your two eyes. There are things that you can see, maybe not literally, but most certainly you can be made to see. But you have to be aware, you have to be in your presence, living in the moment, and doing the work to see. Because a lot of people get on Instagram and scroll away. It's the swipe-a-thon. But what you don't understand is those platforms are harvesting your energy and you're being distracted. 90% of what you see is a distraction. 10% of what you see is to wake you up to the distraction. You're only going to get so many opportunities to wake up. The word woke was stolen. That was never about what it's about now. It was really about being aware of, a certain demographic of people, being conscious of certain areas when traveling, when it came to, people who didn't look like them, who wanted to bring harm to them as they were traveling at night, right? So that's where that term derives from. It doesn't really, that wasn't something that was like, oh, you put a tinfoil hat on and you get in your conspiracy bag. But the funny thing about conspiracies is, a lot of times the conspiracy is what they tell you. And the truth is what you would consider to be the conspiracy. Because it's all fun and games until a file is released or a document is released confirming the truth. But you've written it off as a conspiracy because your brain couldn't fathom that this is reality. You couldn't fathom that this is truth. But there's a lot of illusions. There's a lot of smoke and mirrors, and the world is a big stage. And so you have to understand that what you're being sold isn't really good for anything other than your feelings. It's not the reality. So make sure you do your research when you hear something. Think for yourself. Don't just believe what someone tells you because they tell you. Dive deep. Look into it yourself and see if what they're telling you adds up. Be a thinker. The world's scared of great thinkers. Become a great thinker.